In the glitzy, cutthroat world of high society, the marriage between the crown prince of the Fu Corporation, Fu Jingshin, and a nobody like me, Shen Lu, was literally the biggest joke of the year. People said I was punching way above my weight. People said I used shady tactics. But the truth? Sitting right there in my safe was a crystal clear, black and white marriage contract with a 1-year expiration date. Play the role of Mrs. Fu convincingly. Absolutely do not interfere with the crown prince's personal life. Compensation upon completion. 50 million yuan, paid out the moment we go our separate ways. 50 million yuan. With that kind of cash, I could totally head back to Jiangnan, buy myself a cute little courtyard house with gray tiles and white walls, sit around cracking sunflower seeds all day, and officially enter my lying flat zero-effort era. No ambitions, no hustle, just breathing and sleeping. For that glorious goal, my survival strategy inside the Fu household was crystal clear. If you can sit, you absolutely do not stand. If money can solve it, you absolutely do not use energy. Play power games with the in-laws? Way too many calories burned. Scheming and plotting causes hair loss, and that's a whole aesthetic nightmare. But just when I wanted to go full invisible mode, everyone kept dragging me back into the spotlight. 3 days after I moved into the Fu family mansion, the bedroom doorbell started blaring at 6:30 a.m. Downstairs, Diane Wen, the Fu family's stepmother, and technically Fu Jingshin's stepmom, was waiting for me. She was wearing a silk qipao embroidered with peony flowers, hair pinned up without a single strand out of place, every eyebrow hair perfectly drawn. I looked at her, then looked down at my own wrinkled silk pajamas, and let out one big, dramatic yawn. Shen Lu. Diane Wen took a sip of her Tiguanyin tea, voice all silky smooth, but hiding a knife underneath every word. You married into the Fu family, and since your background is lacking, you need to compensate with discipline. Jingshin's stomach isn't great, so tomorrow morning, wake up at 4 a.m., personally go down to the kitchen, and slow cook a pot of abalone and black chicken congee for your husband. And remember, you must do it yourself. No delegating to the help. That's how a proper wife demonstrates her virtue. 4 a.m., tending the stove by hand. My brain immediately switched to calculation mode. Waking up at 4 a.m. means losing 3 hours of deep sleep. Sleep deprivation leads to dull skin, minimum 5,000 yuan for recovery serums. Standing at the stove for 2 hours burns 300 calories, and the cooking fumes soaking into my hair would require an additional 2,000 yuan in hair oil treatments. Not to mention my cooking skills are permanently stuck at boil an egg until it's definitely dead. If I produced a pot of burnt congee, Fu Jingshin, who has severe germophobia and is the pickiest eater alive, would absolutely lose it. Conclusion. Cooking it myself is a complete financial loss with zero ROI. Diane Wen wanted to set a trap. She wanted to physically torture me and use Jingshin's stomach to turn me into the villain. Of course, mother. I blinked and flashed my most obedient smile. You're absolutely right. I'll make sure Jingshin has a perfect breakfast. Stepmom gave a satisfied humph and walked off, fully convinced she'd get to watch a delicious drama tomorrow morning. Exhausted daughter-in-law meets furious CEO husband. Too bad she was severely underestimating my laziness. Back in my room, I climbed straight onto my king-sized cloud of a bed and pulled the duvet up to my chin. I fished out my phone, grabbed the unlimited black card Fu Jingshin had handed me earlier, and dialed a number. Hello, is this head chef Sun from Wan Xin, the 3 Michelin star restaurant? This is Shen Lu. Yes, tomorrow at 5 a.m., please bring your sous chef to Peninsula Bay Villa number 1. I need the abalone and black chicken congee kept light and clean in flavor, plus shrimp dumplings and shark fin siu mai on the side. The at-home service fee can go straight on my black card. Thank you. Call ended. Total problem-solving time, 2 minutes. Calories burned, approximately 5. I tossed my phone aside, pulled the blanket over my head, and slept like a log until 7 a.m. the next morning. 7:15 a.m. The Fu family mansion's dining room was filled with the clean, delicate aroma of aged rice and premium seafood. Diane Wen sat at the head of the table, eyeing the steaming pot of congee, and then the bamboo steamers filled with dim sum so intricate they looked like artwork, the corner of her mouth twitching. I shuffled downstairs. Instead of wearing some silky dress, I was fully committed to my brown bear onesie, bear paw slippers, and a messy loose bun. We're at home having breakfast. Why would anyone bother changing clothes? Shen Lu! Diane Wen slammed her hand on the table, snapping, Did you make all of this? And what on earth are you wearing? Have you no shame? I pulled out a chair and sat down, lazily propping my chin on my hand. Mother, I don't cook. These were made by Chef Sun, whom I invited over. Premium black rim abalone, black chicken from Yunnan province. Here, have a taste. You had the audacity to bring an outside chef in? Stepmom's eyes went wide, her red-painted fingers trembling as she pointed at my face. I told you to cook it yourself to show your devotion. You lazy, wasteful girl. Mother, the modern mindset is about using money to buy time. I poured myself a glass of warm milk and calmly clapped back. Jingshin's stomach is extremely valuable. He makes tens of thousands of yuan per minute closing deals. If I accidentally swapped salt for sugar and he ended up hospitalized with a stomachache, Fu Corporation's stock price would tank. Who's going to compensate for that? I'm using money to protect my husband's health and creating income for others. Surely you're not saying Jingshin should eat burnt congee as proof of my devotion. Diane Wen's mouth opened and closed like a fish. What I said was completely ridiculous, yet somehow so logical she couldn't find a single word to argue with. Right at that moment, steady footsteps descended the stairs. Fu Jingshin walked in, dressed in a hand-tailored all-black suit, sharp angular features with zero expression, dark, deep-set eyes carrying the exhaustion of chronic insomnia. Right behind him was Hawk Ding, the Ding family's young heir, the #1 gossip in high society circles, who had crashed at the mansion last night. "Oh my God, it smells incredible!" Hawk Ding sniffed dramatically, eyes lighting up as he lunged toward the table. He scooped himself a bowl of congee, slurped a spoonful, and held up a thumbs up. "Literally bussin'. The rice is so soft, the broth is clean sweet. Sis-in-law, the Fu family chef seriously leveled up." Jingshan paused, his cold gaze sweeping over his stepmother's choked with fury face before landing on my ridiculous teddy bear pajamas. He faintly furrowed his brows and pulled out the chair next to me to sit down. He scooped a spoonful of congee and tasted it. His stomach, which had been aching from pressure and stress, was immediately soothed by the warm, gentle flow of the soup, and the tension in him eased just a little. The tail of the crown prince's brow relaxed slightly. I sensed my moment had arrived. I reached into the kangaroo pocket of my bear onesie and pulled out a tiny little receipt, sliding it gently in front of Diane Wen. "Mother," I blinked with genuine-looking sincerity. "This is Chef Sun's invoice, ingredients plus at-home service fee, totaling 30,000 yuan. Yesterday, Mother, you said you were so concerned about Jingshan's stomach and wanted to take care of him. Since you were the one who inspired this whole act of filial devotion, could I trouble you to settle the 30,000 yuan? Thank you." "PFFT?" Hawk Ding, mid-bite on a siumai, nearly spit it straight across the table. He choked and wheezed, thumping his chest, staring at me like he just witnessed a celestial being descend to earth. A daughter-in-law daring to bill her mother-in-law for breakfast. Diane Wen's face cycled from red to purple as she roared. "Shen Lu, don't push your luck. You were too lazy to cook, so you called outsiders in, and now you dare charge me." "But it was Mother's idea," I put on my most innocent face. Fu Jingshan set his porcelain spoon into the bowl with a clean, crisp clink. He dabbed his mouth with a handkerchief, turned to his stepmother, and spoke in a tone so cold it had no feeling whatsoever. "Mother, Shen Lu is right. My health matters more than these performative formalities. If you care about me and want me to eat well, then please transfer that 30,000 yuan invoice to her." Diane Wen went completely rigid, her expression absolutely priceless. She forced herself to stand, grinding her teeth as she spat out each word. "Fine, I'll pay." Then she spun around and stormed out of the dining room. I gazed happily at the receipt, doing the mental math. Good food, successful trap, and all before 8 a.m. What a genuinely perfect morning. "Solid risk management," Fu Jingshan unexpectedly spoke up, turning to look at me, a rare glimmer of depth surfacing in those dark eyes. "Knowing how to leverage resources to maximize returns without burning a single drop of sweat." "Thank you for the compliment, Director Fu." I gave him an enthusiastic military salute, then speared another shrimp dumpling with my chopsticks. Jingshan watched the little bare ear on my onesie hood bob up and down, and the corner of his mouth curved up by the smallest fraction. This woman projected the aura of a lazy, hopeless mess on the surface, but her mind moved faster than any business partner he'd ever had. No drama, no tears, just money and a dash of logic, and she'd already neutralized the insufferable stepmother. Being around her, all the fake rules of high society suddenly felt completely pointless.